welcome to today's video where I'm going to be teaching you 3 postures in the triangle series. Generally, when we're practicing the triangle series, we'll work it in to a sun salutation. But today I'm going to isolate some of the movements so that I can focus on alignment and explaining to you specifically how to use a block if you have one. If you don't have a block, then perhaps try to find a book or something else that's sturdy that you can rest your hands on, particularly if you have tight hamstrings like I do. I worked legs today, so I'm not very flexible today, and I also have not warmed up completely with sun salutations. So before you practice these, I'd like to invite you to do a few sun salutations before to limber up your muscles. All right, so I'm going to begin in mountain pose. So just like I've said in previous lessons, we always begin with mountain pose. And with every posture that we practice, we should always be thinking of mountain pose and applying the cues for mountain pose. For example, the 4 corners of the foot, soften knees, engage core, shoulders back and down, palms forward, and lengthening the spine through the crown of the head while you slightly tuck your chin. So take a few moments and just feel the mat beneath your feet. Maybe rock forward and back to locate those 4 corners of both feet. And when you feel like you've located those 4 corners, engage your core. Pull your shoulder blades back and down. And just take a few breaths deep within the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And then reversing chest, ribs, and belly. So as you can see, I have 2 yoga blocks, one on each side, so that I can rest my hands, especially today since my hamstrings and my inner thighs are somewhat tight. So this is also a good opportunity to be aware that you don't have to be extremely flexible in order to do these yoga postures, especially if you have props. So the first posture I'm going to demonstrate is wide-legged forward fold. So I'm going to step my feet wider than hip width apart. I'm going to pigeon toe my feet in slightly to protect my knees because we always want our knees and toes to be going in the same direction. I'm going to soften my knees, never lock them out, and find the 4 corners of both of my feet. And now from here, I'm maybe rocking back and forth to reestablish the 4 corners. Tucking the pelvis under, pulling the shoulders back and down, and finding mountain pose, just with wide legs. From here, I'm going to inhale and extend my arms up toward the sky, maybe glance up, arching the back for a nice gentle back bend, and then on the exhale, hinging from my hips, and coming into my wide-legged forward fold. Now, once I'm here, I'm going to need a block, so I'm going to reach over and grab one of my blocks and rest my hands on it. Remembering that I can change the height of the block if I feel like I need a little more support, or even after being in the pose, I feel like I can go a little deeper. From here, I'm going to shift forward slightly without lifting my heels and bring some of the weight into the front of the foot, keeping my knees soft and just relaxing my upper body. As I let the crown of my head point towards the floor. I'm going to continue to breathe deep into the belly. And just allow my upper body to act as a weight. Now, once you're here, you may discover that you can release the block and rest your hands on the floor, on the mat. Whatever you do, relax your neck, pull the crown of the head towards the floor, and just breathe without going past your edge. Now to come out of this pose, I'm going to soften my knees. I'm going to bring my hands to my hips. And engaging my core, I'm going to hinge and come up. All right, so that's wide-legged forward fold. The next posture I'm going to demonstrate is triangle pose. So, excuse me. So from here, I'm going to take my right foot, and I'm going to turn it towards the short end of my mat, or short side of my mat. And I'm going to keep my left foot pigeon-toed in. I want to take my left hand, place it on my left hip, push it back, and then take my right hand, put it to my lower right back, and push it forward. So now I'm almost as if I'm in between two panes of glass, one on both sides of me. From here, I'm going to extend my arms out parallel with my palms down, find my mountain pose, find my four corners of the feet. And from here, I'm going to inhale and reach to the left. I'm sorry, to the right. Reach, reach, reach. Keeping this right knee soft. And then I'm going to exhale, grab my block, bring it to the inside of my foot. And if my shoulders allow, extend my arm up towards the sky, gazing up towards the sky. Now notice that my right knee is slightly bent. Don't force it straight. My inner thigh is a little tight, but I am feeling the stretch. So that's what counts. So you likely will be feeling the stretch right here. I'm going to take several breaths. This is Trikonasana. And from here, when I'm ready to come out, I'm going to soften this knee and bend it. And using my core muscles, inhale up slowly, bringing my hands down, and then switching sides. So turning my right foot in, pigeon-toeing it in slightly, and turning my left foot towards the short side of the mat. Once again, pressing my left hand into my left lower back, my right hand into my right hip, extending my arms out, gazing over my left hand, and then moving just my upper body, reach, 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 keeping this left knee soft, grabbing a block, planting it to the inside of my foot, and then extending my right arm up toward the sky. Now notice my shoulders are stacked. I'm not turning that top shoulder inward. If I am, then I'm going to need to raise this block so that it will allow me to stack my shoulders. And once again, I'm feeling the stretch in the inner left thigh at the top of my neck. Taking several dirty breaths here. If it doesn't bother your neck, or if it bothers your neck to look up, you can always look straight ahead or even down at your foot. Now from here, I'm going to soften this knee and inhale and come up. So there's triangle pose. The next posture I'd like to teach is pyramid pose. So I'm going to heel toe my feet in, keeping my knees soft, and coming back to mountain pose. Now with pyramid pose, I'm going to face the short side of the mat. I'm going to place a block at the top. I'm going to locate my mountain pose here. Then I'm going to remember that my feet need to be hip width apart here. So I'm going to maybe walk my feet out just a little bit so that my ankles and my knees are right under my hip joint. Now from here, I'm going to step my left foot back. Not as far as I would for turning. I'm going to turn my left toes in at a 45-degree angle so that they're pointing to the top left corner of my mat. I'm going to square my hips to the top of the mat. I'm going to take an inhale and reach up. Maybe arch the back for a gentle back bend, and an exhale, reach out, 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 out. And rest my hands on the block as I pull forward. Now this is really getting into my hamstring. And like I said, I work my legs today, so I need a higher block. Some days, my hamstrings are looser than others. Today is not that day, so I'm just going to allow my upper body to act as a weight. I'm going to take nice deep breaths, imagining the breath going into that right hamstring, softening that right knee, never locking it out, and just enjoying the stretch in the back of my right leg. Now to safely come out of this pose, I'm going to bend my right knee. I'm going to walk my hands above my knee. Bring my head above my heart to make sure I'm not dizzy. And when I feel like I'm ready, I can step my left foot up to meet my right and find mountain pose again. From here, I'm going to do my left side. So I'm going to step my right foot back. Once again, my feet are hip width apart. My right toes are pointing to the top right corner of the mat. I'm squaring my hips to the front of the mat, finding mountain pose. And then I'm going to inhale and reach, maybe arching the back slightly, and then exhaling, hinging from the hips, folding forward, into pyramid pose, resting my hands on the block if I need it. Or a book, or whatever support that you may have. What you really don't want to do is just kind of hang out in the air. That's not safe. So you need something. It doesn't have to be a yoga. And just taking deep breaths, imagining the breath going into that left hamstring. Softening that left knee. And when I'm ready to come out of the pose, bending that left knee, bringing the hands above the left knee, looking forward, making sure I'm not lightheaded or dizzy, and then stepping my right foot to meet my left, coming back to mountain pose. Those are the 3 postures that I'd like for you to photograph or video for this week's assignment. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day.